together. So, hearing about Krishna and chanting the japa and continuing the seva. So, hold on to these three things in a practical sense in the beginning, Prabhu. Yeah, sounds okay.
Is there a thought process that can help to change when the times are difficult? Is there a way to think differently when the times are different that can help to shorten that cycle?
Shorten what, Prabhu?
And shorten the cycle of the pain, if I would call, because pain is generated by the mind. So I'm just curious, is there a way to think differently to shorten that?
Yeah.
To change the thought process, and if the thought process changes, then the pain will hopefully go.
Yes, Prabhu. Good one. Then then understanding how this bhakti works actually. Say, for example, if my pain is good question. Yeah. The bhakti is for me to come close towards sattva, close to sattva, because sattva has all these qualities of being peaceful, being tolerant, being compassionate, being non-envious, and being grateful. That is a state that any person would want to be, devotee or not. And bhakti is designed and supposed to bring us to that state through the practices that are given to us in bhakti. So if I'm understanding what this process is about and what it is meant to bring in me, then I would be inclined to continue to go on with the process, though there is a pain for time being. That's one thing. And second thing is, if I understand what the goal is, then I would accept the pain that is coming as a teacher for me to get to my goal. Example, I'll give that. If I have pain because of a person, because of an interaction with the person, and if because of what a person is doing to me or talking to me or anything in regards, because of a person, that is painful. So here, the pain is because of that person, and applying whatever has been just said to this situation there, here. So if I am having pain because of a particular person, one or two person or whoever it is, then I am doing bhakti, so I can continue what I'm doing without being reactive to what that person is causing to me. I'm doing bhakti to get to that state, to continue doing without being reactive. So the pain that is caused to me because of the person, generally for somebody who is in sattva, they don't really have pain because of the people around. Sattva is a state where there are different kinds of people around, but some are bothered and some are not bothered. So if I am bothered by certain people around, um, then it is it means that I have my own frequency and others have their own frequency, like that. Being bothered by people around, if I am bothered, then there is something that I need to mold within, because not being bothered is a state of sattva. They are peaceful, they are tolerant, they're compassionate. So when they're having these qualities, they're not bothered by people around. Not that they are joyful to have them around, but they're not disturbed. They can just tolerate even if there is an inconvenience and try to understand why that other person is like that, um, and then not be disturbed in their presence, and can still continue what they are doing. That is a quality of sattva. It's not even bhakti, actually. Even within the family members also, anywhere, if somebody is having that quality of tolerance, understanding, compassion, uh, patience, these qualities, then we are not easily bothered by people around. We understand, and we can go on in their presence. Yes, Prabhu. So, yeah. So in this case, I am continuing bhakti because I have to get to sattva. And the same person, it is the same person, me, it is the same person, the other person. When my goal, when I am understanding why I'm doing this process for my own sake and wanting to get to that state of being undisturbed with um, people around and what they are doing to me, um, when that is the goal and when that is the understanding, I will pursue that. And when we are going through that sattva, then we can perceive bhakti. Otherwise, our bhakti is emotional only, sentimental only. And our bhakti is convenient bhakti only. Convenient bhakti, sentimental bhakti. I do this bhakti, I do this service, and I do this bhakti practice because I'm feeling better, because I'm not troubled with anybody around. Otherwise, I have a reason why I don't want to do it. That is bhakti in passion, sankalpa, vikalpa, on a mental platform. So we want to go beyond the mental platform to steadiness. Beyond the mental platform is intellectual platform, understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that only then one can come to that state of steadiness in bhakti. Does that answer, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. I was just I was just thinking that, consciously trying to bring the thoughts, especially when you're troubled, bring the thoughts of why you're doing bhakti and, like trying to get to sattvas, being undisturbed. So trying to bring those thoughts and thinking might help that, my negativity towards anybody, the situation, people, I am not, my negativity is not good for my bhakti, if I would call it. So bringing that kind of thought might help,
Yes.
right? I don't
Oh,
know, I'm
yes.
thinking wrong.
Yes, Prabhu. Definitely. Yeah, any thought, as a matter of fact. Yes, my negativity does not help me or anybody around, or any kind of those thoughts which can uplift us. And then we take those thoughts and then we move on. Yes, Prabhu, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is definitely helpful. And the next The next layer to the same one is if somebody is able to do that. So far, we have mentioned about understanding the process, understanding the reasoning behind it, which is all called tattva, the knowledge. And the second point, as you have mentioned, is the general reasoning of this negativity is not good for me or anybody around. Yes, that thought or any of those similar thoughts which can uplift us. That's the second point. And the third point is if somebody can do that in the beginning stages, not sure if somebody can do this, but if one is able to get a hang of what this means and is able to do it and go in this direction, that will be very, very helpful. And that third point is samsaradava loka tranaya karunya ganaganatvam. Yeah. So these challenges will come because this is a place of challenges. This is place of troubles. This is place of duality. This mind will be in action for a very long period of time. So they will continue to come. So that's why I will hold on. I will hold on to Guru and Krishna, to the instruction, to the seva that is given, like that. So when we are hearing, I'll hold on to the lotus feet of the Lord, then this is coming from that third category, that depth, Prabhu. I'll hold on to Guru and Krishna's, the instruction of Guru, the seva of Guru, and even more, not even more, but very much in that same level is the lotus feet of Lord Hari. That may not be very natural and accessible in the very beginning. That's why the first two are good to go, Prabhu, until the third one becomes more natural and accessible for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry if I took a lot of time.
No, not at all. Not at all, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for asking. And this time is meant for that. And when the conversation is going on like this, it can help many other devotees too. Because when we are speaking Katha, and that's more like a public platform. Katha is you just give a discourse like that. Then there's not a lot of opportunity for this clarification. And that's why this is a clarification time. And most of the time when the Katha is coming, it would come from this platform, Prabhu, from the third one that we are just discussing. And because that is the Shastra and Sadhu Vakya. So that's why it just brings from the third platform. And then when there is a request for clarity, then we come to this second and first platform to make it more accessible and practical for the application. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Can I go back to the first point, actually?
Yes.
In the sense, I'm just looking at all the devotees that we have on this call, for example, right, Mataji? We all go through our own struggles. But we are, in a way, we are not leaving, we attend the evening sangha, we do our japas, wherever the services, people do it very sincerely. So I'm just trying to gauge, I'm just trying to understand, is it, what else, are you trying to say something else than what we are doing in that
first? Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Externally, it may look
like... So could you explain that one more time? If you don't.
Yes, yeah. So externally, these are the practices, bhakti practices, right? So some may be doing this because, I got to do this, I have to go on with this. In that, some may be trying to do, and just trying to go on. And some may be doing it because they have seen that these are the saving practices for them. Okay, some may be doing the same thing with with a very purpose, like I am here only to do this because this is the very essence, like that. So the depth and determination and the harmony that is there in each devotee behind these activities, even though the activities are the same, that the steadiness, depth, and harmony and the gratitude behind these actions are different for each devotee. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, okay.
And the other thing is, see, when we are doing this, say the services together, say there are the devotees serving together, and one of the devotees may be doing, yes, I know I have to do these services together, so I am doing it. I will do my best. I don't know, this is hard, but I think I will go on. So trying to do. He is serving or she is serving, but this is how he or she is feeling inside. And the other devotee, as we have just mentioned, understanding what the process is, though it is not very happy and conducive, they are embracing it now. I know it is not very easy, but this is something that I need and I want to go through it. So there is a little more willingness and harmony in the second devotee than the first one. And the third one is, yes, I am looking for this service because I have so much to mold within. And all that molding will happen when I try to implement, respecting others, not expecting anything from any, and and being tolerant because this is expected. So I want to apply that. And that's why I am looking forward to do this service. Look at the depth. The other devotee is actually looking forward to apply what has been heard. Otherwise, it just remains as theory. When will the change come from within? So, like that. So, different degrees of readiness and harmony and steadiness in all of us, though we are doing the same services.
But I assume, Mataji, the first person which is saying, I have to do it, kind of, different feelings from that perspective. But I assume he or she is doing it. So what I'm thinking is I cannot lessen that person's service either because he or she is trying to get to the second and third level himself. That's why he's going through that pain of forcing himself to do it even though he doesn't want to do it.
Absolutely, Prabhu. Very much applaudable. Yes, Prabhu. Definitely. Applaudable, actually, not even lessening. Applaudable in spite of that. It is swimming up current. Applaudable, Prabhu. Not even less. Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mata. Thank you for
that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. And it's like this, bhakti together, which means service together. When these different concrete stones, when they're put in a container and shaken, the concrete stones, they have sharp edges individually. These stones, they have sharp edges and different shapes. Yeah. But when they're put together in a container, in an enclosed container, and then shaken thoroughly, all these edges get smoothened. And all the stones that have decided to stay in the container, they become smooth. And that's what happens when we come to serve together. We have our own personalities, our own thoughts, and our own baggages, and our own limitations, and our own comfort levels, and our own likes and our own dislikes. All of us, we do. And so those are our like a little little sharp edges for all of us. Yeah, because that is what is called conditioning. And when we chose to be in that container, all of us together, and then when we chose to be shaken like that together, then only the edges will get softened. And edges getting softened is sattva towards bhakti. Mm. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mother.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. And some of those stones may not have too many sharp edges, and some may have. But if that stone persists to just stay within and go through the process, that's such so applaudable. A big applaud to that particular stone than compared to a stone which didn't have too many sharps, sharp edges, but stayed in. So a very big applaud goes to the stone which had so many sharps, but still continued to stay and was willing to get shaken. Krishna knows all this. Krishna knows all this, sees all this, and then that's how he utilizes the devotees in the sevas after molding them. So actually, dear devotees, all the servant leaders that we see in any capacity, what to speak of our Gurujanas, they have gone through the process, they go through the process. There is so much behind them. There is so much behind them. You know, we heard in the Venu Gita, right? What did that stick, the bamboo stick, how much the bamboo stick had to endure to make it into the lotus hands and lips of Krishna. There is a lot, and it holds good for any devotee, any devotee, any devotee that we see that has come to a steady platform and is able to do seva has gone through this process. Yeah. Everybody goes through this process, but it depends upon how am I taking this? What is my perception about this process? Though stones, the edges are sharp. Oh my goodness, this is so hard. Oh my goodness, I don't know if I have to take it. Do I? So I can wind through the process and go on. Or I also have a choice to say, oh, okay, good, thank goodness, these edges are just getting smoothened. It wouldn't have gotten smoothened otherwise. Krishna, okay, please keep it going. So how do I respond to this process individually, all of us? That is our own choice. Process remains the same for all of us. And so-called the inconvenience remains the same for all of us. But the inconvenience, am I seeing it as a big pain or a desirable molding? Or some inconvenience that I'm willing to go through. That is up to us how we want to perceive it. And if we are perceiving it in a positive way, this point can help, Prabhu. You have asked how can we shorten the process. That has been answered. And the second question is how can the pain be minimized? Not only shortened by minimized, but by changing the perception that the process is the same for everybody. But how am I perceiving that process? Yeah, a very painful, difficult one to go through, or something that is needed and that has to happen. So grateful that it is happening and just bear through it, and or an inconvenience that I'm willing to go through. To what degree my perception is like that. So that is in our hands. Yes.
Thank you, Mother.
Yeah. Thank you. Anything?
This is so beautiful discussion, Mataji. Thank you so much, Nitai Gunjan Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went from having pain because of a person to the perception. So I think that's what I was thinking when you mentioning about a person that could be more like mode of ignorance and passion, and mode of goodness is perception.
Right.
Yeah, and I also have some kind of comment or question, Mataji. Yeah. So when we have two devotees, more or less on the same level of devotion, stoic devotion, but the perception might be different. So sometimes what I understood is uh, Achar Prachar. That example always comes to my mind. Opening a dialogue with that devotee to discuss on that particular inconvenience it might be having one on each other, that might not solve it. It can increase the pain actually, or inconvenience increase more.
Yeah.
So then we need to go with the Shastra, the example of like Achar, like we need to practice, we need to have that patience, because we are not very much different from that particular devotee, more or less on the same level, only a little difference of having different perception. But it takes quite a time, and that is quite challenging practically, because that inconvenience or the differences might be coming every now and then, but the perception only the savior, and that needs lot of patience. So is there anything like specific quality or specific thing we can remind ourselves to keep going like that, Mataji?
Yeah. One thing might help, Prabhu. We may not be changed. We may not be able to change others, and it is up to them how they want to behave. It is up to them how they want to behave and feel. But as long as my intention is there to not really agitate them, that's all, Prabhu. But
Sorry, I'm not asking. I'm not looking for changing the other devotee or other person, but for me to keep that perception, instead of taking it as inconvenience or pain coming from the devotee or because of me to the other devotee, having that like deepen, how to deepen that perception and keep going in bhakti. Is there anything we need to cultivate? Because the more we testing, the more the challenging situations, the more testing happens. There is a chance we go from that perception to again to person kind of mindset.
Right.
I'm trying to ask you like how to keep whatever perception level we have and how to deepen that particular
practicing it, Prabhu. If this question is from a practical perspective, it is practice only.
Okay.
Yeah, this question is more from a practical perspective, so the answer is practice only. Continue to respond without reacting. That is sattva. So the answer is cultivation of sattva from a practical perspective.
The pause step. Okay. The step of pause in sattva.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, sure,
but
Prabhu.
this discussion really nice, and it is
helpful.
very useful in practical,
yes, definitely
practical
helpful.
in day-to-day life.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much.
Definitely helpful. Okay. Shall we extend from the question you have asked, Prabhu? You have asked,
yes,
but
Mataji.
it is left midway. Shall we extend that to a little further?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So practicing it, that can help. uh, while we practicing it, equal focus to be given to what acharyas are saying. Changing the perception is a huge help. Practice can go on. Practice can go on, but for the practice to yield results quickly, if the perception is changed, then the practice will be very easy and the results can be quick and with less effort. So I would emphasize more on the perception while the practice is going on. So emphasis is more on perception than simply practice. Bhakti is meant to change our perception. The practice will become easy and automatic. So not to ignore that part, changing the perception, that is a big chunk. Change the perception. Practice is there, yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, what does it mean? Change the perception?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. The example is like, again, these two persons. I'm continuing to say, if my effort and thought is limited only to, okay, let me not react, but only respond, then I will just get stuck only at that sattva level. Let me not react, but just respond. Let me not react, but just respond. Sattva is good, peaceful, which is good. And a little, this practice becomes easy when the perception is changed. Now, so what is that? Seeing that person from a bhakti perspective, when we say change the perception, going a little further, higher, and seeing from there, instead of viewing from something from a ground level, and then just taking few steps above, view from the first or second floor, then the perception is different. What it means is this. So if there is a difference with a person, and if I'm just stuck at only responding, okay, let me just respond, not react. But if the perception is, the bhakti perception is, everybody belongs to Krishna, everything is Krishna's arrangement, that is bringing the bhakti perspective. In light of that bhakti perspective, the practice becomes easy. Okay, everything belongs to Krishna, everyone is Krishna's. With that perspective, the practice of just responding, not reacting, becomes easier. And we are not missing the point of Krishna there and just get stuck in sattva only. Are you there? Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, but practically that particular devotee is not at that level. So
right. Okay.
So,
and this is, I just extended the discussion, but for a practical
that's the path,
purpose, yes, it is only at that level. Just practice. Yes, that is it. And that is more accessible at any point of time during the start of bhakti or any time. That is more accessible. And we generally feel like, yeah, this is more doable, more accessible. That is wonderful. Just continue the same thing. But same question, same you person, Prabhu, after 1 or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, then whatever has been discussed regarding the perception, then this later part of the discussion can be appreciated more and is accessible more down the road. So no worries now. Whatever is accessible, we just keep going from there.
Yeah, my original question was even that only, Mataji. But my point was, so you said acharyas, right? So in the explanation, so it is like cultivating that perception can happen by hearing from acharyas. That's my understanding, and that's the answer I was looking for, and I got it. So I may not be at this point in time, that perception is not coming naturally to me. But the only way that can be cultivated is hearing from the Gurujana and slowly practically practice it with perception, then slowly it develops. And
Yes, that's how it goes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that is it. Touched both the aspects. And Nitai Kunmani Prabhu, is that does it sound okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, because I mean, so what I'm trying to think is that we are, so it's not natural right now, but trying to, so, but we're trying to bring these kinds of thoughts, any uplifting thoughts, or bringing Krishna in the same situation, like, it's Krishna's arrangement, everybody is Krishna, these kinds of thoughts help us to ease out our thoughts, if I would call it, at that moment, right? Like, because then we start to see the...
Yes, you said it right. And please see if this makes a difference. What you said is right, Prabhu. And please see if this makes a difference. I can see that those are conducive thoughts, so I will think. Okay. And the other option I have is that's actually the reality. And I did not pay attention to it. That is the reality. So I will acknowledge that reality. I will try to acknowledge that reality. It's the same thing. But what happens is, in that way, we are actually acknowledging what we currently don't have as something that is conducive, and we should be doing it. That it is for our good. That's the reality, actually. So I will embrace it. Otherwise, what happens is this mind, okay, I'll try to think like this. It will say, when we are peaceful and discussing, it will say, okay, yeah, I'll try to think. But when the situation comes, it doesn't want to think, Prabhu. It doesn't want to think. Oh, it has so much to say why it doesn't want to think that way. Because in the first scenario, we are giving all the power to the mind to think the way it wants to think. And it is thinking whatever I think is right. In the second option, we are telling the mind, I know you are thinking like this, but the other thing is the reality. Yeah, yes, Prabhu. The Shastra is the reality. The Sadhuvani is the reality. I know you want to think however you want to. That is acknowledged, but the reality doesn't change, dear mind. Yes, Prabhu. But yes, what you said is right. Yeah.
Just thinking a little bit, how do I differentiate my thought that it's accepting that thought, the reality, and it's a majburi, or it's,
Yes, Prabhu.
So
yes.
in both situation, I might accept it, but there's a difference in my acceptance, right? One, I'm saying I'm accepting the reality or acknowledging, and the other one is, it's not in my control, so I'm forced to accept it, if I would call it. So
whatever is giving
that.
Whatever is taking us, uplifting us more and taking us close to sattva. Definitely sattva. Yes, we embrace that, Prabhu. Yes, that's why we keep hearing bhakti. For now, the experience of bhakti is the real bhakti is a little distant for us now. And that's why directing ourselves towards sattva is more accessible and more tangible for us now. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay. Anything else, dear devotees? Otherwise, we can pause here and meet tomorrow for Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Okay. Oh, right. Yes, yeah. So we'll pause here then. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha